Hi, boys and girls in fifth grade. Here are the solutions for this week's problems of the day. I decided to make them all in one video this week, so that way you could go back and check your work if you need to. On 511, the question says, if Q is a whole number between 3 and 6, and is also between 4 and 7, then Q must be blank. So here we go. Between 3 and 6, I'd have 3, 4, 5, 6. And between 4 and 7, 4, 5, 6, and 7. What number is between and in both sets? You'd have 5. So I hope that was an easy one for you, that I wrote them out and then I drew kind of like the little loops to show which numbers were in each set. So again, it has to be 5. It can't be 4 because 4 is the start of the second set of numbers, and it can't be 6 because again, like that's the end of the first set of numbers, so it had to be right in the middle. So that was 511. Let's look at the problem for 512. It says a number is divisible by 3 if the sum of its digits is divisible by 3. And then they show you an example. For example, 189 is divisible by 3 since 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 plus 9 equals 18 when I add up the digits, and 18 is divisible by 3. Okay, which of the following numbers is not then divisible by 15? 15 is divisible by 3 because 1 and 5 is 6, and 6 divided by 3 is also divisible. Okay, so here we go. So we have A is 6945, B is 8190, C is 10,976, and D is 7,155. So I'm going to add up the digits and try to determine which one would not be divisible by 15. So 6 and 9 is 15. 15 and 5 is 20. 20 plus 4 is 24. 24 is divisible by 3. So that tells me that this number would be divisible by 15. So it's not this answer. I'm going to cross that out. Letter B, 8 and 1 is 9, 9 and 9 is 18. We know 18 is divisible by 3. It's also going to be divisible by 15. So I'm going to cross that one out. Let's try this one. 1 plus 9 is 10. 10 and 13 is 23. 2 and 3 equals 5. And that would not be divisible by 3. Therefore, it's not going to be divisible by 15. So far, that would be my answer. But I'm just going to check on letter D. 7 and 1 is 8. 8 and 10, when I add up the digits and come up with the sum of the digits, would be 18. We know 18 is divisible by 3. Therefore, this is not going to be my answer either. So the correct answer on the 12th was C. Let's take a look at the 13th. So it says, Sydney gave Miles $20 less than Miles originally had. So he, meaning Miles, already had. So he has now has $64. So how much money did he have originally? So that's going to look like this. Okay, it looks like this. I have Sydney, and Sydney is giving money to Miles. Miles had a certain amount, and then he receives an amount from Sydney that is $20 less than he started with. And in the end, he has $64. So I'm going to go, if he has two mystery amounts, 2x minus 20 is going to give me what he ends up with, which is 64. So I'm going to add 20 to both sides, which gets rid of it here, and I'm just left with 2x on that side of the equal sign. 64 plus 20 is then 84, and now I can divide by 2. 2 goes into 8 4 times, 2 goes into 4 2 times, and it means he started with $42. And then he received $20 less than that, so 42 minus 20 would be 22. And then 42 plus 22 should equal 64. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. So when it says how much money did Miles have originally, my answer is 42. Okay, there's one more problem for today, boys and girls, and then we're going to be all set for this week. So on the 14th, yesterday, it says if each student in Mrs. Handy's class were to receive 5 books, then there would be 42 books left over. If each student in her class were to receive 7 books, there would be 8 books left over. How many students are there in Mrs. Handy's class? So here's what I have. The mystery, what I need to figure out is the number of students. So I'm going to use the letter X to represent the number of students in her class. We don't know how much that is. If all of those students, though, were to receive 5 books, so 5 times the number of students, we're going to imagine that there's a times sign in the middle. You don't have to when you're using a variable. You don't have to have any sign. You just have it right next to each other. Sometimes you might see a little dot instead of a symbol for multiplication, but that's what it means. It's that it's multiplying. So 5 times the number of students. And if each student gets 5 books, then there's 42 books left over. Okay. But in the same case, with the same amount of books, if each student were to receive 7 books, so 7 books times the number of students, then there would only be 8 books left over. Okay, and these amounts are equal, okay, because it's the same number of books. So my job now is I need to get all the numbers by itself and all of the variables by itself. So to do that, I'm going to take an 8 away from this side. It cancels it out. And I'm going to take an 8 away from 42. So 42 minus 8, I would go cross out the 4, make it a 3. This becomes a 12. 12 minus 8 is 4, and bring down my 3. So now I have 5x plus 34 would be equal to 7x. And now I'm going to take 5x off of that side and 5x off of this side. So that cancels out over there. 7x minus 5x would be 2x. 2x is equal to 34 books. If I divide by 2, I'd have x equals 17. So that would be my number of students. Okay? So the final answer on 514 is x, which is the number of students, stands for 17. There are 17 students. But if I want to go back and check my work, I should have equal amounts on either side of the equal sign. So 17 times 5, I'm going to do that. 5 times 7 is 35. Carry my 3. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. 85 plus 42 books on this side of the equal side. 5 plus 2 is 7. 8 plus 4 is 12, means on this side it's 127 books. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. So 17 students times 7 books. 7 times 7 is 49. Put down my 9, carry the 4. 7 times 1 is 7 plus 4 is 11. 19 plus 8. 9 and 8 is 17. Put down my 7 and carry the 1. 1 and 1 is 2. And I have my 1. So on either side, it's 127 for the number of books. And what changed is how many books the number of students got, and that resulted in how many were left over. So again, my final answer is 17. If you watched today's video, comment with the secret word for the day, which is black. For all of my grades, I had different color Expo markers, so it was just the color Expo marker that I wrote in for that grade. Comment with the word, and I will give you a bonus point for the day. Have a great day. See you next time.